Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and this is the weekend ads episode for week 10 of the fantasy hockey season, guys. As usual, I make this episode every single week, so if you're really close in your matchup, you're winning by just a little bit, or you're losing by just a little bit, you can come out on top. Before we jump into it, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, be sure to check out my Patreon link in the description below. Let's jump into it now, guys. And first thing, as usual, I'll be looking at the weekend schedule for this weekend. And on Friday, December 15th, there are 6 games. On Saturday, there are 13. And on Sunday, there are 5. So go ahead and check your schedule and see what you have room for in your lineup. In all likelihood, your lineup is full on Saturday. If your lineup's full on Saturday, don't be looking for a streamer here that plays on Saturday. I offer 3 things. I offer Friday, Saturday streamers, Friday, Sunday streamers, and then Saturday, Sunday streamers. But again, if your lineup's full on Saturday, go ahead and check out the timestamp for the Friday and Sunday section if that's the case. First, I'm going to discuss players that play on Friday and Saturday. And if you do end up streaming someone that plays Friday and Saturday, you can also end up grabbing someone for Sunday afterwards as well. So you can end up getting 3 games total if that is your strategy. The teams that play Friday and Saturday are Arizona, Boston, Buffalo, Dallas, Nashville, the New York Islanders, and the New York Rangers. The number one guy to stream here would be Lawson Crouse, who's been absolutely fantastic over the past few weeks, scoring lots of goals and getting plenty of solid deployment, putting up shots and hits to give a pretty safe floor as well, night in and night out. Ryan O'Reilly is the next guy I would look at, getting top line and top power play deployment with Philip Forsberg on Nashville. Then Charlie Coyle getting top 6 deployment, doing pretty well this season, would be the third guy I would go for here. Matt Duchene would be the next best guy I would go for here. Still getting second line deployment, if you want to call that the second line. And he's doing pretty well as well overall. JJ Peterka shooting the puck plenty, still getting top 6 deployment in Buffalo, and is having a really great season this year. Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin play with Matt Duchene on that second line in Dallas, and that line's doing pretty well as of late. Nick Schmaltz is the top line, top power play guy in Arizona, so he's definitely a solid streamer as well. Wyatt Johnston is the third line center right now in Dallas, but it's a pretty good third line with Jamie Benn and Evgeny Dadonov. And then Nick Bjugstad is the second line center in Arizona, has been pretty hot as of late as well. Michael Carconi is someone I'd also look at right now. He's not someone that I think is sustainable at all, but as of right now, he's scoring plenty of goals, and as long as he's hot, you could consider him, although it's kind of a risky one, because if he doesn't score, he's not doing a whole lot for you. Then Colton Sisson's actually getting top power play time right now for Nashville, and is getting decent deployment. If you like Faceoff wins, he's decent for that as well. Overall, putting up decent peripherals as well. Kyle Palmieri is playing in the top 6 in New York, playing alongside Brock Nelson and Pierre Engvall. Not too bad of a deployment. He's been decent all year. And then finally, if you're in a super deep league, Johnny Brodzinski is playing on the third line in New York and hasn't been too bad since being called up to the minors. This is a risky streamer though. Alright, if you need players that play both Friday and Sunday, there are 5 teams that meet that requirement. The Ducks, the Hurricanes, the Senators, the Sharks, and the Golden Knights all play Friday and Sunday. The number 1 and 2 guys that I would stream are Tomas Hertl and Mikael Granlund. They're playing top line and second line respectively. Hertl's playing with Eklund and Barabanov, and Granlund's playing with Duclair and Zetterlund, assuming that Duclair is actually healthy. Both are playing out of their mind right now. They're scoring lots of goals, lots of points, and these guys are kind of must-adds. They're not just streamers for this weekend. They're guys that you need to be holding right now, given how hot they are. Then you got Big Daddy Vladdy Tarasenko, who's playing on the second line right now with Stützle. It's a pretty great deployment, honestly. And he's starting to heat back up right now, so I definitely don't mind him as a streamer for this weekend. Ivan Barbashev is starting to heat back up now, playing on the top line with Jack Eichel and Mark Stone, so I don't mind adding him either. I just picked him up in a very, very deep league, and someone had dropped him right before he started heating back up again. He's someone that I do like long-term, given the deployment he has. Josh Norris is playing on the top line with Brady Tkachuk and Claude Giroux. Great place for him to be, and honestly, getting top power play time as well. Should be doing better than he has been, but overall, I think Josh Norris is still a very good streamer for this weekend. Then we got Seth Jarvis and Teuvo Teravainen. Both are kind of cold right now. I'm not super high on either of them, but they're both decent streamers for the weekend. And they're both getting top power play time right now as well. So as of right now, I don't mind streaming them for the weekend. Then we got Fabian Zetterlund, who is playing on the second line with Mikael Granlund as well as the top power play, and is pretty hot right now. He's putting up points, he's putting up some decent peripherals with shots on goal, so not someone I mind streaming, and he's available in a lot of leagues right now. William Eklund's playing on the top line in top power play with Tomas Hertl, and he's playing well right now as well. Another decent streamer here. Michael Bunting is for some reason playing on the fourth line right now, so I'm not overly high on that deployment at all, but Carolina does seem to shake up their lines a lot, so if he ends up back on the top two lines, this is where I would rank him here. Otherwise, probably avoid him. Alex Barabanov's also skating on the top line with Tomas Hertl and Eklund and the second power play, so he's definitely got some play, and he's got a point streak going right now, so that's not a bad pickup. Then Troy Terry is playing on the top line. Anaheim is having a kind of a rough season, but the deployment is there, and he should turn things around. Don't hate him as a streamer if he's available in your league. Then I got Paul Cotter and Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson's on the second line right now with Jonathan Marchessault and Howden, which is decent deployment, and he's starting to pick back up a little bit. And then Cotter's on the third line with William Karlsson and Michael Amadio, which is a decent deployment as well, and he's putting up lots of hits to give himself a super safe floor, and he's putting up a little bit of points as well. Leo Carlsson and Adam Henrique are the top line and third line centers in Anaheim, but Carlsson gets healthy scratched a lot, which puts Adam Henrique on the top line. So Carlsson is a bit of a risky streamer because if he does get healthy scratched, you're going to be wasting a move. But Henrique is fairly safe of a streamer and does put up points relatively frequently. And then finally, Jesperi Kotkaniemi is a second line center right now in Carolina and is a half decent streamer. All right, if you want to stream someone for Saturday and Sunday, Colorado, New Jersey, Vancouver, and Washington are the only teams that play both Saturday and Sunday this week. So you're going to want to pick someone from one of those teams because you'll get 2 games out of players from those teams rather than just 1. The best guy you could be adding for this weekend, if he's available, is Tom Wilson, who's insanely hot right now, putting up a super safe floor with hits and with shots on goal, and is playing top line and top power play right now in Washington. Great ad if he's available. Sam Lafferty's playing on the top line right now with Elias Pettersson, and Ilya Mikheyev was also on this list. Both good ads for this weekend for guys that play both Saturday and Sunday. Dylan Strome's also playing on that top line with Tom Wilson as well as a top power play, and he's heating back up a little bit, so I don't hate that streamer. Dawson Mercer seems to have cooled back down, but there's always a chance that he can go off. Don't hate him as a streamer. And then Nils Höglander is playing on a line with JT Miller and Brock Besser, and he seems to be putting up a little bit more points than he has been in the past, so I don't mind that streamer as well. And then don't look now, but Anthony Mantha is starting to put up a little bit of points, so he may not be the worst streaming option either, and he's playing on the second line right now in Washington. If you need defensemen, the best guy on the list is Jacob Slavin, who despite not getting any power play time, has been putting up points lately, so as long as he's on that point streak, definitely a great ad for this weekend. Jake Sanderson's top power play in Ottawa, so definitely a good ad there. Braden McNabb putting up great peripherals all the time and putting up some points lately as well. Radko Gudas is someone who puts up some very safe peripherals with hits and blocks. Brady Shea is another guy who puts up a little bit of peripherals, but you're hoping that he gets a point. Keandre Miller is the same kind of thing. Puts up okay peripherals, but you're also hoping that he gets a point for you, or otherwise it's probably going to be a bit of a bust. Mike Riley has kind of come out of nowhere and played really, really well for the Islanders so far. He's only getting power play 2 times though, so I'm not sure if that's really going to continue that hot streak. But as of right now, if you're in a deep league, you might as well go for it and cross your fingers that he keeps it going. Josh Manson's putting up some pretty nice peripherals right now for the Colorado Avalanche, and as long as he's doing that and he's putting up points occasionally, he's a decent streamer as well. Romanoff is putting up some really good hits and blocks numbers right now, so if you want a safe floor, that's a decent one. And then Pavel Mintyukov is still the power play 1 guy in Anaheim, although he's been not as good lately. He's still an okay streamer. For goalies, the number 1 guy that I would stream if he does get the Sunday game is Casey DeSmith against the Chicago Blackhawks. Then Akira Schmid against the Ducks. The Ducks have been horrible lately, so if he gets the second half of the back-to-back, would be a great streamer there. Ivan Prosvetov against the Sharks, although the Sharks have been better lately. Still think that's a decent streamer. Mrazek or Soderblom, whoever gets the game against the Vancouver Canucks, that's a decent streamer as well. Then Mrazek or Soderblom, whoever gets the streamer against the Canucks, honestly, hopefully it's Mrazek because he's been much, much better, playing really, really good as of late. John Gibson against the New Jersey Devils is a decent streamer as well. He hasn't been too bad, though I don't expect him to win the game. And then Korpisalo or Forsberg, whoever ends up starting for Ottawa against the Vegas Golden Knights, that's going to be a tough matchup, which is why I have him ranked so low. And Kochetkov and Ranta against the Capitals, the Hurricanes goalies haven't really been that great, which is why I have them ranked a little bit lower, and the Capitals are scoring a little bit more than they were before. And then Blackwood or Kokkonen against the Colorado Avalanche. And then finally Kemper or Lindgren, whoever starts, against the Carolina Hurricanes. Those are all of your Sunday options for goalies. If you're in a categories league and you need shots on goal, you're very close in that category, you want to make sure that you win it, the number one guy to add is Tom Wilson. He shoots 2.9 times per game. So if you're streaming him for 2 games, you're hoping for 5 to 6 shots on goal, which is pretty good. Josh Norris also shoots 2.9 times per game. Paterka 2.8, Mike Riley 2.8, Hurdle 2.5, Cousins 2.5, Fabian Zetterlund 2.4, and then Marchment and Machello 2.1 and 2.0 respectively, but they've been shooting a lot more as of late, which is why I did include them on the list. If you need blocks, the number one guy to grab is Braden McNabb. 3.2 blocks per game, Mayfield 2.9, Ferraro 2.9, Bernard Docker 2.7, Labushian 2.6, and Romanov 2.3. If you need hits, the number one guy to grab is Luke Shen. Hits 3.3 times per game, although his sample size is a lot smaller, so I may opt for the next guy on this list. Paul Cotter, 3.2 hits per game, Lazone 3.2, Kolsar 3.0, Joshua 3.0, Tom Wilson, Kiefer Sherwood, both 2.9 hits per game, Will Cooley, 2.7 hits per game, and Cole Smith, 2.6. Finally, if you need face-off wins, the number one guy to grab is Tomas Hurdle, who's probably the number one guy to grab for points as well. So just a really good streamer overall. He wins 11 face-offs per game. O'Reilly 10.5, Stahl 10.3, Coyle 9.9, Bugstad 9.0, Pajot 9.0, McLeod 8.7, Nico Sturm 8.5, and Nick Dowd 8.2. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoy the content today, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Best of luck in your matchups this weekend, guys. Hopefully you can come out on top. I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.